Hello, everyone. Welcome to this is not an episode. This is basically the announcement that I tweeted out last night that I had made a decision and I'm announcing it. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. And it's something I keep going back and forth on. And even as I'm recording this, I don't know how I really feel about it. But it's something I think that I need to do and just go for it. For the past few years, you guys know that I've been doing this Disney Parks podcast and Disney news and all that kind of stuff. It started with the Daily Disney blog, then it was some Orlando junk, and now it lives by the name Park Views with Brad Hughes. And I've had a great time. I've had a lot of great opportunities doing that show. Met a bunch of really cool people. And I will forever be grateful for every one of you guys that downloaded the show and helped me through some of the tough times of my life when I was moving to Orlando and really getting started with the podcast and really being able to go to the parks and do more stuff with, Disney related stuff in the parks because I live here now. And I'm not moving home. I'm still in Orlando. I'm not moving anywhere, but I have decided that I am going to, at least for now, stop doing Park Views with Brad Hughes, the podcast. That podcast feed that you listen to this on will turn into the Jedi Talk podcast feed, which will also have lower level podcast on it. And those two things are going to be my focus. And there's a few reasons why. A few of them I'm not going to get into because it's personal. Which I'm usually pretty open, but it's more personal than I can even talk about on here. But Jedi Talk's not going anywhere. In fact, Jedi Talk is going to be ramping up. And lower level is going to become the focus. A few reasons. The main reason is we do the YouTube channel, Park Views with Brad Hughes. If you want to see the Disney stuff that we would talk about on the podcast, we can just go to the parks and show you it. Me and Holly live 3 minutes away from Disney property, literally. Get on I-4, we're one exit away. And we live right by I-4, so it's easy for us. That's not changing. Like the YouTube videos and all that stuff's not going anywhere. So pretty much Park Views with Brad Hughes will only be the YouTube side of Disney content going forward. There are a few exceptions. I've been talking to some people and we're going to be doing Disney Plus stuff. I'll have an announcement for later in the week about that because I'm still trying to figure out logistical stuff when it comes to that side of things. Excuse me. But so YouTube's not going anywhere, so it'll still be YouTube Park Views with Brad Hughes. So that's not changing. So don't worry, that's still happening, and it's going to have content for Jedi Talk and Park Views with Brad Hughes on there. And I feel weird about it, and I've talked to some friends, and they're like, "Dude, but this was your baby," and I'm like, "Yeah, it was." But I'm having more fun doing Jedi Talk, and I'm having more fun doing lower level podcast than I was having fun doing Park Views with Brad Hughes. Because for me, it was just redundancy. We talk about things and then we go and show you them. And I feel like it would be better to just go and show you them than it would be to talk about it and then go show it. So that is the one of the many reasons. Let's just be real. One of the other reasons is that Jedi Talk is just doing way better than Park Views with Brad Hughes is. Like, there's so much Disney content as far as podcasts and stuff that go. I'm sure you guys can find it going. There's better podcasts than mine too. I love doing my podcast, and it's something I've really loved for a long, long time. But let's be very real. There's way better podcasts out there. 3028, the Be Our Guest podcast. And that's not to say that I'll never bring up Disney stuff, because if you listen to Lower Level Podcast, it hasn't dropped yet, but if you listen to the reboot of that, we talk about Star Wars and we talk about Disney, and I'm not a Disney fan anymore. I'm there all the time. I'm going there tonight, and I'm just going to be doing the video side of it. I think it just fits better for the medium to show you guys things than it does just to sit here and talk about them and then go show you them. We can just cut out the middleman of talking about it and to just go straight to it. It's weird to say it out loud. I haven't really said it out loud yet. I've talked to Kevin Sees Lagoon about it, and yeah, I'm not a Disney fan, so like we can still talk. My Twitter handle is not changing, at least for now. It might change, but yeah, you can kind of tell I'm kind of still weird about this whole thing. But I just wanted to let you guys know what I was talking about on Twitter. This was the announcement that I was going to make, and I'm happy with it. I think it's a good decision. Being able to focus on Star Wars and the Disney Plus stuff that's going to be happening. So I can announce that finally. We're going to be doing a weekly, or not even weekly, the night that the episode drops for The Mandalorian, we're going to be doing podcasts every night after that with full-on spoiler reviews for each episode and talking about it, talking about theories. And we're also going to be doing, me and, I don't want to say a name yet because it could not happen, but me and someone you guys do know are thinking about doing a Disney Plus show where I'll get into details about it later, but I think it's going to be a really fun idea. And so the Disney stuff isn't going away. I'll still talk about it. When Rise of the Resistance opens, we're going to do full-on reviews of that, and I'm going to be doing YouTube videos still. So if you really want to see me doing Disney stuff, you're going to have to go over to YouTube and subscribe. It's just, it makes more sense financially to do it that way. For me, it makes more, because guys, podcasting is not cheap. I don't make any money doing the podcast. I actually spend money. So I don't have any I just don't have any sponsors. So it's just one of those things where I'm just kind of doing what's best for me as far as like enthusiasm. And again, not that I'm not a Disney fan. I'm still a Disney fan. I'm still at the parks all the time. If you see me, please say, hey, like I'm not going over to Universal. It's not going to change to a Universal podcast. It's just something that I think I need to do for myself. And I'm not saying I'll never bring back Park Views with Brad Hughes. I never thought I'd bring back lower level podcasts, and here we are. So, it's just something that I think I need to do for my own sanity. And if you know me personally, you can kind of read between the lines about what I'm saying here, because I don't really like to talk about it. But yeah, so that is the announcement. I hope you guys stay into the podcast feed where you'll get Lower Level Podcast, which is not a family-friendly podcast, just so you know, and the Jedi Talk podcast. So we'll be doing a lot of stuff. There's actually, it's funny, getting Park Views with Brad Hughes out of the way is going to make me be able to do more content, because now I haven't done a show for Park Views with Brad Hughes in a while, just because I just didn't really feel like doing it anymore. And so this is kind of me being like, yeah, go with your gut. It's time. That being said, I'm having a house guest this weekend, and I'm sure me and him are going to sit down and talk about Disney stuff. So it's not like it's all going away. It's just the formality of it is changing and the podcast feed is changing. So I just wanted you guys to get a heads up before you see it later today that it has all changed. Probably give it a day or so before I change it, but that's the announcement. So thank every single one of you who has listened from the beginning. There's a ton of you that I know that I've seen your names around literally since the start, and I will never take it for granted. I'm getting emotional here. I will never take it for granted, and I will never forget the very first time I saw that somebody had downloaded my podcast. It was weird. Because I was just a dude in North Carolina who was talking about Disney because he wanted to be able to talk about Disney with people who had the same passion for Disney as he did and still does. Yeah. So that's that. Not saying goodbye forever, just so long for now. So that's it. I will see you guys on the next Jedi Talk with me and Evan Boucher. We'll be doing that. And then keep an eye out for the Lower Level podcast that'll be dropping sporadically throughout the week. This does mean more content. So if you like me, just like we don't need to be me talking about Disney, you're going to think this is better because you're going to get more fun content. You're going to get more loose stuff. And it's going to be a party. So again, thanks everyone for downloading this and every episode. And I'll see you guys soon.